This is Will Buchanan reporting for the Walk for Liberty. It's July 26th, 2008, day 92. Today I intend to walk 15 miles for liberty. We've unfortunately run into another RV snafu. Brooke, John, and Yuka had been driving ahead in the Subaru and the RV to go to the next camping spot while I started walking. John had been driving the RV, and after a few miles he said it sounded like the engine was just shutting down, which sounded like either a battery or alternator problem. And yes, there was gas in the RV. So they pulled over and started charging the RV's battery from the Subaru. I eventually caught up to them and helped to tighten the alternator belt, which was also loose. And then we waited a while longer for the battery to finish charging. Unfortunately, even after a couple hours of charging, we didn't get the RV to do much more than a clicking sound when trying to start it. It could be that our jumper cables are bad as well. So we drove the battery to the nearest town to have it charged at a garage. And here I am, wandering around White Sulphur Springs, Montana, waiting for our battery to be charged. It's interesting and kind of frustrating sometimes, the situations that come up. It looks like I won't get anywhere close to reaching my mileage goal today. Oh well, I guess it's best to take it all in stride, huh? So while I'm wandering around, maybe I'll just make a few observations about this town. For one, some people in this town seem to be really against meth. And some even think it can kill you after just one usage. That's great that those people are against meth usage. However, I'd like to propose that if people are dying from meth, it's not the meth that's killing them, but the federal government. You might be asking yourself now, how could I make such an outrageous statement? Because of the federal government's war on drugs, meth production is done in the black market and is under no quality control standards, unlike if it were legal and produced in laboratories just like aspirin or penicillin. Therefore, each different dose of meth can be of wildly varying strength, especially if it's produced by different black marketeers. Somebody might think they're taking a particular dose, but is actually taking a dose which is 10 times stronger than they thought. And it's that overdose, which is caused by the federal government, which is killing them, not the meth itself. And on another note, I've also counted at least 4 bars in this town. And of course, as per its name, there's also a hot springs here. And that concludes my video tour of White Sulphur Springs, Montana. With the battery charged, we were able to get the RV started to drive it to the next town, but there might still be a problem with the alternator. Anyway, I'm still going to try to get a couple more hours of walking in before it gets dark. One final thought regarding my commentary on the drug war from earlier. I often hear it said that the reason for any number of supposed government protections is, it's for the children. However, considering the fact that many of the people who die from meth overdoses are children and teenagers, and based on the fact that the meth overdoses themselves are caused by the federal government's war on drugs, I think the war on drugs itself needs to be stopped for the children. Between my 2 walks today, I went just over 10 miles. Here are my GPS coordinates. This is Will Buchanan for blog.walkforliberty.com, signing off. a door that leads to nowhere.